great time, and I hope you have a lot of good times with friends and relax this weekend. And howdy.
I'd rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. I'd rather one should walk with me than just to show the way. The eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. And the very best of teachers are the ones who live their creed. For to see good put into action is what everybody needs. I can soon learn how to do it if you let me see it done. I can watch your hand in motion, but your tongue too fast may run. And the lectures you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather give my lessons by observing what you do. For I may misunderstand you in the fine advice you give, but there's no misunderstanding how you act and how you live your creed. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It is indeed an honor, pleasure, and a privilege to have the opportunity to spend this evening with Farragut Career Academy at your annual staff retreat. Yeah, you give yourself a round of applause. It's real interesting because when I received the phone call on Monday of this week, I was in Dallas, Texas at a prisoner reentry roundup. You see, what I do by profession is I'm a corrections administrator, and so I was down at a national conference in Dallas, and they called it the reentry roundup, and their theme was cowboy hats and things of that nature. But the thing that I found interesting about being down there was that I had the opportunity to hear from Warden Burrow Kane. He's the warden at Angola State Penitentiary in Louisiana. And one of the things that he says that I found very impactful and very interesting was that the average prison stay for someone in Angola is 90 years. But he said over the last 15 years, so much has improved because they had the opportunity to bring in a Bible college and expose those inmates who, for many of them, will die there to education. To expose them to the opportunity of education. He brought one of his former clients, a gentleman by the name of Bishop. Bishop went to Angola State Penitentiary in 1957 and was released in June of 2009. Bishop said that the thing that saved his life as he was serving all of those 52 years was that he had the opportunity 10 years ago when a Bible college came into the institution. And he had the opportunity to learn, he had the opportunity to educate himself. He said he needed to go to prison at the time that he did, but the education prepared him to be able to be out in the community. And now he lives in Brooklyn, New York, and he works for a ministry, and he works with other young men and women who are coming back into society through reentry. I start off and I talk about that because working as a corrections administrator here for the Illinois Department of Corrections in the state of Illinois is that I know that there is a direct correlation between lack of education and the potential for future incarceration. And so I think this is the right place for me to be here tonight, April 9th, Friday, at the McDonald's Corporation, talking to a room of individuals that spend their life and dedicate their lives to helping to shape the future of young men and young women at Farragut Career Academy. So give yourselves a round of applause. One of the other things that I realize and I recognize is that a lot of times you guys work so hard and you're not valued or what you do is not acknowledged. You feel burned out, and sometimes we reach burnout working in human service and working in education. And so before I get to talking to you about the culture of calm, and that's indeed what we need here all throughout the city of Chicago and all throughout the country, before I start that, I want to just speak to each and every one of you, to give you that shot in the arm, to give you that jolt, to give you the opportunity to refocus and retreat from what you deal with on a daily basis so that you know that what you do is so worthwhile and so important and so needed. Is that okay? Can I do that? Can I motivate and inspire you before I start talking about the culture of calm? Well, I want you all to repeat after me. One life, My life.
My life.
One life.
One life.
My life.
My life.
One life.
One life.
My life.
My life.
The speaker said how great it is to dream a dream in a position of youth by the starry stream, but how great it is to fight life through and get to the end and find the dream is true. How many of you realize and recognize by a show of hands that we have one life to live? Yes, indeed. Every hand should go up. Of all the billions of people on the face of this earth, there's one thing that we all have in common. We have one time here on this earth. And because of that fact, we need to maximize that opportunity. We need to take full advantage of that opportunity. We need to embrace that opportunity. Well, I want to talk to you about 4 types of people that I tend to come across in life. You may recognize some of these people. Some of these people may represent who you are and how you live your life. The first person that I want to share with and talk to you about is the person that we call the player. The player is the individual that's in the game. They're on the court. They showed up. They say that a player is successful because they passed the show-up test. How many of you know that 80% of success in life is being willing to just show up? They say 90% of success in life is being willing to show up and show up on time. Anybody have a problem with that? They say 95% of success is being willing to show up on time, and have a plan. And they say 100% of success, ladies and gentlemen, is being willing to show up on time, have a plan, and then execute that plan. Isn't that what we want our students to understand? Isn't that what we want them to learn? That if they're willing to show up on time, have a plan, and execute it, they can live their dream. We should all want to be players in this game we call life. The second person that we tend to come in contact with is the person that I call the spectator. That's what you all are doing right now. But I have love for a spectator because a spectator has dreams. A spectator has goals. A spectator has aspirations. How many of you in this room has a mentor? Does anybody in this room have a mentor? See, one of the things that I talk to you and as well as adults is I say you're never too old to have a mentor. I believe no matter where you are in your career, whether you've been teaching for 2 years or for 32 years, there's always someone that you should have in your life, someone that you respect, someone that you can bounce ideas off of. Because how many of you know that sometimes you're right up on a situation and you can't gain the proper perspective? It was my mother, bless her heart, who passed back in 2006, and she told me, son, sometimes you got to take 2 steps back before you can take a step forward. See, as a spectator, you have those goals, you have those aspirations, but sometimes you need somebody to bounce ideas off of. Sometimes you need somebody to talk to. Sometimes you need to believe in the belief that other people have in you until your belief kicks in. See, a spectator is a good thing to be sometimes. And we need to teach our young people to spectate those things that are positive, those things that will lead them to the greatness that they all and that you all have within you. The third person that I tend to come across in life is the person that I call the wanderer. The wanderer is that faculty and staff that didn't get the memo that this started at 7:30 and they're driving around in the parking lot right now wondering where everybody's at. You see, you have 3 types of people. People that make things happen, people that watch things happen, and you always have somebody running up late saying, what just happened? We can't be a Johnny-come-lately to our lives. We can't be a Johnny-come-lately to our careers. We can't be a Johnny-come-lately to our success. We can't be a Johnny-come-lately to our ideas. We can't be a Johnny-come-lately when these students and these young people, men and women, when their lives hang in the balance because they needed somebody to care about them when nobody else did. That's the wanderer. And the wanderer, ladies and gentlemen, the fourth person that I tend to come across in life is the wanderer. They don't even know that there's a game being played. They're walking aimlessly through life. They're filling up the penal institutions. In 1975 in the state of Illinois, there were less than 10,000 people incarcerated. Here, 30-some years later, in 2010, there's almost 50,000 people incarcerated and another 40 to 45,000 people out on some type of parole or probation or electronic monitoring. We have to be the players and the spectators to motivate and inspire the wanderers and the wanderers and let them know that they too have a place in this game we call life. How many of you know that there's a power in being unique and different? Yes, indeed, there's a power in being unique and different. It was Earl Nightingale who said that the opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. He said the opposite of courage in our society is conformity. Everybody doing what everybody else is doing without knowing why. See, there's a thing that I call having the ability to agree to disagree. We all have our own thoughts and our ideas. We don't have to always think alike. That's what adds to a discussion. When I was in college earning my bachelor's degree and my master's degree, I enjoyed being in a classroom where people had dissenting views and dissenting opinions because that made the learning process all the better. See, it's okay to be different. It's okay to stand up for what you believe in as a faculty, as an educator, as someone that works at the school that's sharing with these young people. It's okay to share your ideas and not feel that your ideas are not important or that your ideas don't count. See, they call that the power of being uncommon. It was Theodore Roosevelt who at that time in history was our youngest president. And he was indeed uncommon. He said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity and not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humble and dull by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream, to build, to fail, to succeed. I refuse to live hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to a guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. I will not trade freedom for beneficence nor dignity for a handout. It's my heritage to think and act for myself, to enjoy the benefits of my creation and face this world boldly and say, with God's help, this I have done. So you all have done it. You all have made a commitment. You all have decided to see it through. You all were willing to show it up. Give yourself a round of applause for being willing to show up and do what it is that you do each and every day. How many of you know you have a gift and a purpose? Indeed, indeed. Each and every one of you in here has a gift and a purpose. I tell young people all the time that it's your responsibility to discover what your gift is. And once you discover what your gift is, it's your responsibility to cultivate that gift, to develop that gift, and to use that gift to leave this world a better place than how you found it. See, you all have a gift. You have a gift of compassion, a gift of exhortation, a gift of caring, a gift of education, a gift of administration, and you have to use that gift. See, because what we want to do right now is we want to throw away what we call Generation X or Generation Y or the lost generation. We don't understand them, and so because we don't understand them, sometimes it results in us losing them. But they're somebody's son, they're somebody's daughter, and we need to make sure that we act and we operate in our gift. See, I'm reminded of a story of a young man. This young man, when he was born,